But this group of new majority learners, they're the most at risk. I want us to dive into four examples here, four different populations in the new majority, and how their cohorts persist compared to the majority of students, of the non-new majority students, excuse me. So let's look at working students. 69.3% of undergrads are working while putting themselves through university or college, but they are 20% less likely to complete their degree. First generation students make up 29.6% of students in higher education in the US, but they are 59% less likely to complete their degree than their peers. That's a staggering gap. Part-time students, they make up 39.2% of all undergrad students in the US, and 46.8% of them, that's nearly half, fail to persist to their second full semester. That's nearly half in 1 year. And student parents, they make up just shy of 20% of all students in higher education right now. And 61% of student fathers drop out without a degree. The number for mothers is about 48%. Now, I'm not sharing these statistics to be grim. I'm sharing because when you look at these numbers, you realize these aren't fringe populations. These are your students, and you're probably thinking of students who walk through the doors of your office as I read out those different types of populations. The working student, the first gen student, the parent juggling drop-offs with deadlines, they're the mainstream of higher education right now. Here's the kicker. I mentioned earlier that 45% of dropout in the first 2 years of college is due to what students learn about their academic performance. And I have a question for you. What percentage of students experiencing academic challenges will not seek help? I've just launched a poll. I want to hear your answers to this. What percentage of students experiencing academic challenges will not seek help? Is it 55% of students, 65, 75, or 85? Now, you'll notice already that these are high numbers I'm giving you. I'm saying that regardless of what the right answer is, it's more than 50% of students experiencing academic challenges don't seek help. Now, looking at the answers we've got about 10% saying 55%, 20% saying 65, 40% saying 75, and about 30% saying 85%. Well, I can reveal the answer is 85%. 85% of students experiencing academic challenges won't seek help. Not can't, won't. And often students don't even know how bad things are getting. They might not notice the early signs of risk. They might not seek help until they're desperate and the situation may be too dire by that point to be salvageable. This is replicated across populations of the new majority. One population that we work with so quite closely is students with disabilities. And there's a research that shows that of students who have a registered disability and had help and extra support in K through 12, 65% of those students do not disclose their disability to the institution in higher education. They're not hiding it because they don't need support. They've had support all through high school. They've got the documentation to show that they need support, but they're not seeking it in higher education. They're hiding it because of stigma, fear of being judged, because seeking help feels like admitting defeat, maybe. These students experiencing academic challenges just won't say they need help. So we've got a picture of the challenge here. The majority of your students are navigating both academic and non-academic pressures that put them at real risk of dropping out, and the vast majority of them will never ever raise their hand to tell you about it. So why don't they ask? Well, if we look at that population of new majority learners, they roughly fall into three groups facing different challenges. And I think if you've been working in higher education for any length of time, you recognize all three of them. We've got the time poor learner. This is the working student, student parent. They're balancing work, family, study, and there genuinely aren't enough hours in the day. They're not booking an advising appointment, not because they don't want help, but because they can't make a 2 p.m. slot work when they're on shift. Then we've got the underprepared learner. This is often our first generation student. They don't necessarily know what to ask for, or even they're asking as an option. Nobody in their family went to college. They don't have that shared language of go see your advisor or get talk to your tutor, ask for an extension. They're figuring it out as they go, often on their own. And then the third group is the learner with individual barriers. This is the student with a disability they haven't disclosed, the student dealing with anxiety, or the one who just finds the whole thing really cognitively overwhelming. Disclosure anxiety is real, and asking for help means naming your struggle. And for a lot of students, that's just too much. These groups are prevalent in that 85% of students experiencing academic challenges that won't seek help. And all three have one thing in common. Your current systems, almost in all cases, will require them to self-identify, to raise their hand and to take the first step. We can't know they're going to do that.